Opening the door to our potential starts with accessing wisdom. When we tap into our potential, we give birth to something new, essentially creating it. If we can comprehend just enough of the creative process from our perspective or from the point of view of creation, we can perhaps start to understand what it means to unlock our potential. Jewish mystical thought, which deals with deeper understanding of the Torah, shows us the model for creation. It says that before anything came into being, the Creator's simple divine light was all that there was. To allow creation to exist, He constricted that light, creating a void in the center and leaving only a residue of His essence in that void. This stage of creation is also related to the principle of Yesh Me'ayin, a Hebrew phrase meaning something from nothing, connoting that nothingness precedes the existence of all things. Basically, it means that all that exists originated from nothingness. The book of Job points out that nothingness, or ayin, is the birthplace of wisdom, which is represented by water. And just as creation emerged from nothingness, so our path to our potential begins with nothingness. How do we get to nothingness? The Book of Zohar, a foundational body of literature on Jewish mystical thought, speaks of two pathways. In Hebrew, these paths are called Derek and Nativ. Derek is the general path for all people, while Nativ is a personal route. The Nativ is a path known only to its specific sojourner. This path already exists, but it needs to be traveled on in order to be revealed. That is to say, for us to unlock our potential, we must find the specific path or native that is specially for us and us alone. Everyone starts on the general path. On the derek, there is a multitude of scattered hints that could lead us to our potential. But it's also full of obstacles, decoys, all sorts of things that deprive us of a clear vision of our specific path. We were all born into the general path. It's our default starting point, and we grew up conditioned by it. It includes everything we know as reality, all the things that have molded us into what we are now. The native is indefinable, dormant, as long as it remains in the derek, dissolved in it, and undifferentiated from it. To get a better grasp of the native, consider how Abraham started navigating it in his life. The book of Genesis tells us that God told him, "Go from your land, your birthplace, and from your father's house to the land I will show you." The word "go" in this verse comes from the Hebrew word "lech lecha." It is usually translated as "go" or "get out" or "leave," but it literally means "go to yourself." In Jewish thought, "go to yourself" implies unveiling the essence of one's soul and the blueprint behind its architecture. In effect, God was telling Abraham to find himself. In finding himself, he was able to find God. The story relates how Abraham literally went out of all that he considered home and moved to where God wanted him to go. Throughout his life, he went through a series of experiences called Abraham's 10 trials that gradually revealed and defined not just his path, but the path of a nation. On a deeper level, what Abraham did time and again was to go to nothingness in order to acquire wisdom. It means he nullified his own desires, manner of perceiving reality, and all the ways he had been conditioned by his environment. By leaving everything, he created a void, so to speak, within himself. The void rendered him free to transcend his external situation, self-interest, and biases, thus allowing himself to see only his essence, which then clarified his own path. Like Abraham, at some point in our lives, we will have to get out of the general path and move on to our native. Right now, this path seems to elude us. It is drowned out by layers of conditioning, flawed perception, corrupted desires, and other distractions. We too need to continually go to nothingness, to penetrate through such layers until we have nullified ourselves to a point where we can reach wisdom, the place where it is possible to recognize our essence. In this very essence lies our greatest potential, and this is the wisdom we acquire. It is what allows us to gradually reveal our specific path apart from the general path. As I've said, life inundates us with things, from everyday mundane things to sudden, huge events that force us out of our comfort zones. Things that conceal our specific path, yet those concealments hide seeds, pieces of wisdom that connect us to our potential. When a life experience happens to us, paying close attention to it from a place of nothingness helps us draw out a seed of wisdom and unpack the insights or hints it could impart relevant to our purpose. Over time and many experiences, the seeds of wisdom, when properly nurtured, grow and form like a trail of breadcrumbs, leading to the full expression of our essence. We remember that the Torah is the manual for navigating wisdom. When it is viewed in service of the general path, it will benefit us in a general way. If we use it to traverse our individual path, it becomes the most powerful, sophisticated tool for removing all hindrances and traps, clearing the path to the potential within. This path could be what Jesus referred to in the book of Matthew. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. In summary, to gain wisdom, we must go to its source, nothingness, where it becomes possible to correctly extract insights from everyday life. There are no idle experiences in life. Each moment is an opportunity to understand our essence and reveal the specific path that will express our potential. My next video will be about understanding. the second of the three elements that reveal potential. I'll be expounding on how understanding can nurture and develop the seeds of wisdom acquired from nothingness. See you there.